As a guide and instructor, I've seen thousands of takeoffs. Some pilots rush trying to get it over with, others freeze standing around while the conditions are perfect, coming up with reasons not to fly. Underneath both patterns is fear. We've all been there. The overthinking, the butterflies, the quiet excuses. That's launch anxiety. But here's the truth. Launch anxiety isn't a weakness. Fear isn't something to banish or suppress, and it's definitely not something to be ashamed of. It's a signal, a fast-track portal to flow. And as you'll discover, a friend. If you embrace it, you may find yourself unlocking breakthrough flights like one of my newsletter subscribers who flew his first 100 Ks after applying the principles in my free flow toolkit, link below. But first, we need to understand why fear exists and where it fits into flow, that magical state where mind, body, and glider move as one. Fear isn't the opposite of flow, it's actually the beginning of it. Flow follows a cycle: struggle, release, flow, recovery. And fear is part of that first stage struggle. That moment when you're unsure, tense, not yet in sync, your heart's pounding, your mind is racing. It feels uncomfortable because it's supposed to. It's your system activating, your body calling for attention. Kristen Ulmer, a former pro skier turned fear specialist, calls fear a misunderstood emotion. She says most of us try to suppress or conquer fear, when in fact, all fear wants is to be felt. Stephen Kotler says the same. Fear drives attention into the now.
What all these triggers have in common? Flow follows focus. The state can only show up when all of our attention is rooted in the right here, right now.
Fear gives us focus for free. When we embrace that fear, when we pause, feel it in the body, breathe with it and stop trying to fix it, we move from struggle into release. That's when something shifts. The breath deepens, the chatter fades, body, mind, and wing come into harmony. And just like that, you enter flow. But you can't fake it. If the challenge is too great for your skill set, if you haven't trained, if you haven't practiced, your body knows, and the fear won't go away. It's not enough to know about flow. You have to train for it. You have to build real trust in yourself through practice and exposure to discomfort. I was standing on launch, waiting to fly tandem with a new student. The wind was strong and the takeoff tiny. I hadn't flown tandem in a few months, and it wasn't my gear. My mind started whispering excuses. Maybe we wait. Maybe today is not the day. That was a sign. I paused, took a deep breath, scanned my body, and I noticed for the first time my heart was pounding. It literally felt like it was trying to escape my chest. And I hadn't even realized until I stopped and felt. Fear was there, not loud, not panicked, just present. So instead of resisting it, I acknowledged it. I felt the wind on my face, softened my gaze. I breathed low into my belly, slow, grounded, steady, and let myself feel the fear. No judgment, no fixing, just feeling. And something shifted. The tension softened, the chatter faded. My body relaxed, yet my awareness was alive. That fear had driven my focus right into the now. It gave me the dopamine hit I needed to lock in, priming my mind and body for the task ahead. I walked calmly to launch, got my gear ready, nailed a Cobra, and blew my student's mind with a 20K golden out and return sunset flight. It was magic. But the real moment wasn't the flight. It was that pause, the awareness, the connection to my inner state. That was the shift. Not from fear to fearlessness, but from resistance to awareness, from tension to trust. That's where the magic lies. It begins by feeling more and thinking less, by activating our senses, by tuning in to the emotional body, by embracing fear as a friend while still respecting the power of nature. This calm presence, this ability to operate in flow, is available to all of us. But there's a catch. You can't fool yourself. You can't fool your fear. Fear is your ally. It's a messenger. And if you don't have the necessary skills, it's going to scream at you. The more you ignore it, the louder it gets. Too many pilots neglect ground handling, then wonder why they struggle on takeoff. And I don't mean ground handling in the easy, laminar, tea-sipping conditions. I mean challenge. I mean wind. I mean deliberately putting yourself into turbulent situations and testing your edge. Because one of the best ways to honor the voice of fear is with earned confidence. Kriegel Maurer didn't just wake up launching in crazy conditions. He trained in snowfields, deliberately choosing strong wind where he could get dragged, increasing the difficulty step by step. He chose to test his edge. If you've never been compromised on the ground, how can you expect to stay calm when it counts? We're not playing tiddlywinks here. This is paragliding. And when things go wrong, it's serious. So if you say, I've got this, but you haven't trained, your nervous system knows that you're bluffing, and that bluff will just add to the tension. The stress response from a botched takeoff can last up to an hour. You become stiff and rigid, not exactly the state you want to fly a dynamic aircraft in. What we want is to flow. So this is where chaos training comes in. And one of the best examples of this comes from big wave surfer Laird Hamilton. When he trained Tim Ferriss, who had a lifelong fear of drowning, he didn't start easy on him. He took him straight into the worst case scenario. Body surfing, a dangerous break where many people have drowned. Why? Well, to let Tim experience the tumble, the chaos, the disorientation, to teach him how to get comfortable with discomfort.
Learn about wiping out and then go learn how to surf. And then when you wipe out, you'll be like, oh yeah, no problem, I won't panic.
And just like most fear, once he met it fully, it was smaller than he had imagined. Laird's approach wasn't reckless. It was built on respect. Respect for the ocean, respect for fear itself. He didn't just teach Tim how to surf. He taught him how to be with fear without being paralyzed by it. And that's the difference. Respect is useful and fear is your compass. But avoidance and resistance, that becomes the handicap. In flying, it's no different. If you only train in perfect conditions, you're preparing to panic when things get real, and they will. So what's the answer? If you have the skills and the training, you might just need to make friends with your fear. But if you haven't trained and the challenge is above your pay grade, then it's wise not to fly today. Go practice, come back when you're ready. And to learn the exact exercises I use to build real skill and launch confidence, watch this video next.